Canadian organization has been closely watching the impact of Australia's social media ban for children under 16. The ban, which took effect on December 4th, has led to 4.7 million social media accounts being deactivated.
And joining us live this morning for an update on the policy and if Canada should perhaps follow suit is Lloyd Richardson, the Director of Technology at the Canadian Centre for Child Protection. Lloyd, good to talk to you about this morning. Australia is sort of this leading example around the globe in terms of this social media ban. Now it turns out Canada looks like it's considering one for those 14 and under. What are your thoughts on this and whether Canada needs to follow suit here?
Thanks for having me. First and foremost, we're very supportive of a social media delay. What we've seen in Australia is that they've implemented this. The sky has not fallen. An age of 16 seems like a good place to start with this. What I'd say in Canada is we're lacking a few things that need to be in place first. So when we look at the landscape in Australia, they've had legislation on paper since 2021. Their Online Safety Act that was created. They also have a regulator, the Office of the E-Safety Commissioner. So they had the foundations in place for this in advance. And what I'm excited about here is we're having that conversation again so that we can have legislation put in place in Canada that's really sorely needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Lloyd, you're the Director of Technology at the Canadian Centre for Child Protection. When we talk about protecting our kids, it can feel pretty impossible these days with the speed of AI. It is moving at the speed of a roller coaster, and not all the safety restraints are in place. So where do you want to see change, especially in this space? Because AI is not necessarily social media. It's basically the new search engine.
It is. It's all sort of encompassed into the same thing. And it really, it points to us having nothing in place to start. So I'm sort of harping on the same point that I made before about having actual legislation in place. The AI just dovetails on what we're already talking about here, the harms related to social media. And really, algorithmic feeds, all of these things were sort of gas on the fire related to the harms to children specifically in this space. And while those things we'd like to see baked into legislation, I think it's important to point out that any legislation that gets tabled is not going to be perfect. When we first see it, it's not going to be all encompassing. I think that what we should be looking at here is constant iteration, right? But at the end of the day, we need something on paper first, and then we can build from there. And again, the notion of a social media delay of age 16 it's not a radical concept. It's actually crazy that we haven't done something like this years ago.
Mm-hmm. We really seem to be playing catch up in this space here, Lloyd. I'm also curious, CCCP has concerns over young girls being targeted specifically around online violence. That obviously is a major concern. I mean, it's happening to boys as well, but you're specifically out talking about this. What are your specific concerns, and how can we kind of get a handle on this?
A lot of it is related to the exposure that is created through social media. So by default, you want to be showing more of yourself, sharing more of your personal information, and that's an inherent vulnerability that can be used to target youth. So specifically with the release we did recently related to extreme violence against young girls, we're seeing them targeted at an early age. It's sort of an open platform for offenders to go after children. And to be clear, we see the dynamic both with young girls and young boys. They're targeted in different ways for different reasons. But what we see as the common point of access to them is generally these platforms that are related to social media and social media themselves, where essentially these offenders can find these children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish we had more time, because I'd like to get into the conversation about Roblox, which is, an online game geared towards young children. But now a lot of predators are using that as well. Lloyd, hopefully we get you back. Lloyd Richardson, Director of Technology at the Canadian Centre for Child Protection. Thanks so much for your time.